Okay, so here is what I'm going to talk to you a little bit about today. So I'm here on behalf of Mikko Kauppinen, who is actually running the GE Healthcare Innovation Village. He was unfortunately he didn't make it here today, so he was thinking who could come in instead of him to give his presentation. And he said that it's better that somebody from the village comes. So I'm here as a startup presenting the what has been going on in the GE Healthcare in Helsinki. So a little bit about why GE Healthcare in Helsinki decided to come up with this kind of startup ecosystem, and why they decided to come up with that, and then where the village is going on from here. So just one slide about my company, Temployer. So we have an automatic solution to manage short-term staff shortages in the healthcare industry. It's a cloud-based system, so you don't need any installations. It's very easy to start using. If you're interested to learn more about this or our other village companies, we have a stand on your right side over there. So please come and talk to us afterwards. Okay, so in December 2013, Finland was not a very nice place to be in. The economic was going down, and so was GE Healthcare in Helsinki. So they were always downsizing there, and there was a lot of empty space. And actually, what they were saying, that there were no smiling people. And all the people were just looking inside the company. Okay, so where are they going to cut next? Are they going to shut down the factory? What's the next bad news that is coming from the headquarters? And there was a lot of vacancy also in the area where the GE Healthcare offices. It's in Vallila, so it's just about a few kilometers outside the center of Helsinki. So something had to be done. And this is just a couple of images how it looked like. So a lot of empty cubicles, not a very inspiring place to work. And there's a lot of empty space, vacancy for office rent around the area. And the idea came that we need to create this kind of open environment, and we need to transform the office space. It's not going to foster any innovation in these closed cubicles, and we need to get inspiration and model from the startup industry to work more, get like this kind of more, become more agile. Because if you're talking about GE Healthcare, it's kind of like a dinosaur. So get to this kind of more fast-working culture. And so the best way is, of course, to experiment with startups to create this kind of positive cycle. So just by creating a space, that doesn't help. So GE asked a startup, so what do you guys want in this kind of cooperation? And of course, we need space. We need some place to work, and it would be nice to have people around that are like-minded. And we are always looking for money, and that's for sure. And in a startup, you kind of do everything, but you don't know anything, or in a very you have to wear many hats, but you're not an expert on anything. So it's nice to have some coaching, some mentors around who you can ask if there are some questions. And sales is, of course, a very important part of becoming a successful startup. And on the GE side, of course, they needed to get the growth going. So the downsizing all the time, it was a negative cycle, to something positive needed to come out. And because of the situation, no real talents were looking for jobs at GE, because the reputation was not very good at the moment. And they wanted to foster this innovation culture in Helsinki. And Helsinki, they thought, okay, Helsinki would be a really good access for the Finnish and Nordic startup landscape, especially in the health tech industry. So this is the vision of GE. So if GE is very strong on the left side, so in the hospital equipment, all that they are very strong in. But on the right side, that's where we startups come in. So they're not going to do a lot in mobile, some service software, etc. So that's a very good way to be able to create this life care ecosystem vision. They need partners. So how was GE able to engage this? Of course, the facilities had to be changed. And to have this kind of community created within the space. And GE is, of course, a commercial company, so they need to get some benefits out of creating this kind of space for startups, so to foster their own digital health program. GE has a very good connection with the Helsinki University Hospital and other customers, so being able to provide a channel to those for the startups was really important. And the way that this could become successful was that the top management of GE had to be involved in the top management in Helsinki. And because all the startups were in the same place, that also fosters possibility to get venture capitals into to meet startups as well as government officials. So you can start this kind of really good cooperation when everybody is around. The companies that GE is looking for are in these categories. So all ranging from getting these type of analytic big data companies. Well, we go into the innovative hospital and home apps. That's our category for employer. But everything, they have quite a broad view on the health tech startups that they take into the village. And this is what the village looks like, the space, office space. So the interesting thing is that this was done open in June 2014. And when they realized that there is a problem, something needs to be done, that was September 2013. So in mere 6 months, the dinosaur GE Healthcare was able to pull this off. And that's like light speed time for a company like GE Healthcare. And this is the famous coffee that was mentioned earlier. So the office space for the village space is closed. So nobody from the GE side can access there. And we can, of course, not access GE premises, except the one person from GE can come into our space, which is Mikko, who is not here today. But the idea is that we have a really great coffee shop downstairs where both the startups and GE people can mingle, talk unofficially about things, and we have workshops going on there. We have every other week there's a startup presenting with a small stand, so the GE people can come and talk to us about what we are doing in the village. And the opening event was in October last year, and it got very good press coverage. Even there was a lot of government officials also attending the party, and we got it was a very big thing both in Finland and also globally. And because of the whole village thing, GE Ventures joined Slush for the first time, and that helped build or start the digital health program in Finland. So a 30 million, almost 30 million program was then decided to invest in Finland. So that was a very positive thing. And the new CEO, after only 6 months as being the GE Healthcare CEO, he visited the village. And if you compare to the previous CEO, it took him 6 years before he came to Helsinki. So that's quite fast to come and visit this kind of small country quite far away. So at the moment, these are the companies in the village. And what concrete stuff the villagers has received is there were 7 of the startups are doing business together or for GE. So that's really nice. And then we have had Soma got 1 million funding. Round Soma does this non-invasive neurological treatment for depression. So very, very exciting company actually. And the village is basically full at the moment, but because of the success, GE has decided to double the space. So now there's a big renovation going on, and we are going to get double the space basically. And we have the village has received a lot of media attention, and GE has become taken the leader position in digital health in Finland. And as I said earlier, we have a lot of cooperation with the government and also other interesting parties. And in a GE point of view, the fun is back. It's fun to work at the GE. There's a positive outlook. There's something going on. So there has become, from the negative cycle, that has been cut off now. The Finnish government wants GE Healthcare to take the lead as an anchor company to create a healthcare-focused ecosystem in Finland. And the interesting thing about this picture is that GE has put the village in the middle and not themselves. And they are just one part of the bigger puzzle. And in Vallila, there's almost no vacant space anymore, so the positive cycle has also reflected outside the company, outside the village, and now we are talking about Silicon Vallila. So it's actually a nice place to work now. So just in summary, so it's not enough to just have space, square meters. You need to actually get the community, get the atmosphere. What Mikko does, the people who are like running from the GE side, they are very active in getting us startups involved in different kind of workshops and etc. So because of that, the atmosphere is very good, and you all know kind of what everybody's doing. So it has been a very successful experiment for GE, and there's a lot of potential, and now GE is doubling the space for new startups. And the important thing that why GE was able to get this mothership to turn their attention to Finland was that the top management in Finland, they were all involved, and they did this very fast. So you really need to walk the talk. In Finland, we are not that good in small talking, but we like to talk big, and when we talk, we really mean it and we make it happen. So I think that was a really good thing that they were able to only in 6 months build this whole thing that got all the attention. It didn't die in a really ongoing projects. And this is actually a great tool for open innovation. We have a work group with startups who are thinking about the next digital health center, and that was actually from a governmental visit to the village who said that, okay, we like to do this kind of experiment in Espoo. So they said, okay, we will gather a group and start kind of giving ideas on what the digital health center might look like. So we have like workshops with a few of our startups coming up with ideas for that. So it's a really a good place to be as a startup, and I think GE has also gotten a lot out of it. And if you have some questions, you can come and talk to me over there. But otherwise, I say end with the GE logo here.
Thank you, Nina. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So, Vanilla Valley, right? Silicon Vanilla.
Silicon Valley,
right.
That's right. That's right.
We had a question from the cage, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for the wonderful presentation. I have coffee in here, so if you want to join me. I have a question, though, because I'm a little bit confused. Your role is not connected to GE, right?
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you look at innovation, disruptive innovation in healthcare, you oftentimes see that the small heroes, the smaller lean companies are the ones that making the biggest changes right now. You have been starting up a company with the support of a big giant behind you. Hasn't that influenced your creativity? Hasn't that influenced the way that you're actually capable of making your own product, make disruptive technology?
I think GE Healthcare, they have done it quite cleverly, the whole system. My company existed before the Innovation Village existed, and all of the companies basically are such companies. So GE has kind of been provided the space, and they are the first to see if there's something interesting coming out of the village, and then they can together, of course, utilize that as well. But we have a very the contract we have with GE is basically a leasing contract and NDA if you happen to hear something in the coffee shop that's sensitive information. So in that sense, it's not like that GE has, okay, we have this innovation, we will create a startup within one certain area, but more of they're just trying to foster in the community at the moment. And of course, that in turn at some point might already has done a really good things for the GE Finnish office, just getting the GE headquarters to see that, okay, Finland is quite good, we will not downsize, we will actually invest in Finland. So there's kind of like a double agenda there.
But is it a no strings attached relationship? They don't take any equity.
No,
you don't charge.
Yeah, that's right.
You just pay the rent, or
we pay the rent, and it's very cheap. It's for one space, it's 100 euros.
Yeah.
So it's kind of compensated.
Do you pay for the coffee?
And that's free.
The coffee is free.
Yeah.
Everything starts with a great cup of coffee, right? I think we'll need to move on here now, but actually. I myself, we work a lot with incubators up at the university as well, and I mean, this has been going on for hundreds of years. I mean, like 600 years back in Florence, we had incubators where rich families invited artists and creators to come and live and thrive and prosper and develop cool stuff. And I see this is happening again, and I think that's the possibility of opening up for this kind of innovation is really, really exciting. If you actually dare, as a big company, to do a no strings attached approach, because I think that is the key as well to opening up and not trying to not try to get your sort of fingers into everything, but actually seeing what can happen. And we want to be, So I think that's important. Thank you very much, Nina. Thank you very much. And we will move on to the next